Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Stephen A. Williams, president and founder of creditrepairshop.com. In this video, I'm going to talk about debt collectors. A new law went into effect that debt collectors can now text, email, and message you on social media. That's right. They can contact you on Facebook. They can contact you on TikTok. They can contact you on Instagram, anywhere that they see you, they can try to track you down. And there are softwares that will try to track you down, and they're now able to actually go into your DMs. And I'm old fashioned. I'm hip to a lot of the social media and stuff like that. I'm good at marketing and things on there. But I remember my daughter had said something about she was going to DM me, and I was like, what do you mean DM me? You're gonna DM? What is DM, like on my phone or something? And it said no, a direct message, and I was like, I never really paid attention to that on my uh, Facebook page or wherever it's at. I never really communicated with people on there. Even when people sent me stuff on there, I didn't reply back to that. Like it was just something that I just didn't do. But so she was. That's where you're gonna probably have pop-ups. Now let me tell you how they end up doing tracing on people with that. Is There's software that's out there that will scrape any social media platform. But also, I mean, it's even if that software didn't exist, right there with what people are doing outwardly on social media, Facebook required you to have, real names, or you might have something, but mostly people's lives are right there for debt collectors to comb through. They don't have to be a direct friend or anything with you. They just, just send a message. And what I'm afraid of happening, what I'm afraid of something that will happen from this, that will unintentional re, result from allowing debt collectors to have more options to contact people because the mail, and people don't pay attention that they think to mail, or they just want to have an additional way, is that what is going to be the rule on if you are contacted through social media and you don't respond in the 30-day period, and inside of there they might say, well, we sent you a letter, we tried to get in touch with you. And then are they going to be able to use that as the uh, uh, dunning, which is what they call it, a dunning letter, that demand letter? Are they going to be able to use that information, that timestamp information, to be able to place that information on people's credit reports? And are they going to be able to use that information in court also to say, hey, we did try to contact you, we reached out to you here? Are the courts going to allow those contacts? And if you don't respond, what are they going to say about you not responding? But then check this out. What are they going to do when people say that they don't have certain things? Are they going to allow uh, uh, subpoena of the information in your social media account to prove to them that you do have the income to pay a debt that is uh, proven valid, or that you didn't fight and they end up getting a judgment and they end up getting a garnishment? Are they going to be able to use that information? Because really, when you are going to court, you're going to court and you think about it 50-50. You got 50-50 chance. And a lot of people just don't understand it when they're getting that court summons and they're reviewing it, and they're like, why are they putting all this information on there? Why are they saying things like, I benefited from the use of that card? Of course you benefited, but why are they saying it to the court? They're saying it to the court to build a certain narrative about you and that account. That's what they're doing. And so just think about it. They add your social media profile. You're out there, shopping or having fun on vacations, doing whatever. And they're able to use that information and stick it in there and they say, we're not only saying that uh, that this individual benefited from the use of this credit or this account or whatever, we also
So, in
have
other
proof
words,
that
in
they
other words,
benefited.
Derek, it's piece by piece,
How is that going
little
to
by
play out
little, and then
in the courts?
eventually,
Because they,
because I've seen
uh,
this happen, I
by
mean,
allowing this
then
to happen, I
eventually
mean, this
you
is
wake
this
up
is something
10
that was
years from
actually
now
been coming down the pike
and
for
investors have
a
come
few
in
years. I
and
couldn't believe
buy
it,
low,
but the
sell
last
high.
administration had
Yeah,
actually
yeah.
allowed
And
this to
yeah,
pass, and that now the date has came. It looks like the date was
yeah.
December 7th was when it was actually enacted. So now you're going to start getting a whole wave
Yeah.
of people getting contacted. Now, it does state that they cannot, and let me scroll here a little bit, and you can type this in online. It
Yeah.
was on CNBC a few days ago, but it does state
Yeah.
that
Yeah. Well,
uh,
that's why I said there's
they
so
still
many
have to abide by the
distractions.
rules of the
However,
Fair uh,
we
Debt
uh,
Collection
your
Practices Act.
call highlights
Can't
it,
like continually keep
and
contacting you.
it,
One thing
we have
that
to do what we have to
they
do.
are going to
People
have
have
to
to
do,
do
which
what they
is
have to do,
well, I'm not even going to
and
say
it
it here because
starts
I don't want a
really. You're
debt
right.
collector.
All
I know
politics is
debt
local.
collectors are watching
All
my video, so I'm
politics
not even going to say
is
something
local.
that they're going to have
And
to
if
do to
you
even
can
be able
see it
to
as a
keep
business person
uh,
and an investor,
uh,
you know the
sending
governor
out
sees it because
messages.
he
Because
works there,
if anyone has tried to
and
contact a
because
lot
he's
of
still the
people
capital,
with
and
DMs,
so you
you
have to
know that
ask
there's
him.
something
We
that
don't
will
ask him
happen
anything.
after a
You got
certain
to
amount of
tell him.
time.
You
So I'm
see
not going to
what's
even
happening now.
speak on
Legislatively,
that. So I don't
where
want
are
to
the
get them no
resources
information on how
to
they'll be able to
reverse?
have a
No, I
person
mean
in their
that.
office
Where are the
contact
resources?
multiple
Not the
people for
reason.
their
Where are the
business.
resources to
But
reverse
it says
what they
something
are
that they
accused
also
of?
have to give
And
the
he's not
option
going
for
to
you
be
to
made.
opt out
He's
and
got to
have
be
no
made to
further
do it. I'm
messages
sorry. Go ahead
for
with your
reaching your
last
social
comment.
media. So what you need to do if you're doing a cease and desist uh, uh, communications and you only want them to communicate in writing, you're going to have to
Explain that.
also
Oh,
include
okay.
in that cease and desist no social media, no email, and yeah, also texting. They have now they will be sending out mass texts to your phone. That was another thing. They are able to text you also.
Yeah. Yeah.
Email,
Yeah. Yeah.
they've,
Yeah.
I've had people tell me that they've gotten information emailed to them, but now they're going to be able to do social media, text, and email, and not just by phone. So whenever you
There you
add
go.
technology and make the job a lot easier, where you don't have to just depend on people calling out to get in touch with people, you know that they're going to really maximize what the
There
contacts
you go.
or the
Percy from
opportunity
Michigan.
to
You're
make
on with
contacts. And
Madison.
what I always say,
54
and I'm
after
going to
the hour.
repeat it
Go
right
ahead,
now,
Percy.
is that if you receive a letter from a debt collector, you have to respond to it. Read it thoroughly. The first thing that you have to do is check your statute of limitations for your state. The laws are different for every state. The laws, the statute of limitation is
Oh,
different for credit card, it's
yeah.
different for
Yeah.
communications debt, and it's different for regular installment loans like your automobile loan.
Good.
Find when that debt actually was charged off or written off, and then you need to uh, go and look at the statute of limitations for your state. You can go to my website, thecreditrepairshop.com, and look at the
And let me
legal
tell you,
statute of
when
limitations.
I
If it
looked
is
at when
past
I was
the
going
legal
through
statute of limitations, you
the
have not made a
scorecard
payment,
report,
nothing. You haven't
and
signed
he's
any
being,
agreement or
he
anything to
was,
reset
I
that
said,
debt.
wait, not the
If it is
same Gary
past
Peters
that time
who, when
frame
he was
from,
running
let's just say it's
for
5 years
election,
from the
was
charge off
calling
date and
us
it's 5 years later,
all the
right
time,
now, even if
and
it's
we
just one
never
day
turned him down.
past it, you
All
do
the
not
time.
legally have to pay that debt. You do not have to do a debt validation when you have a debt that is past the legal statute of limitations to collect. All you have to do is simply send them a letter notifying
and
them
I told
that this
and I
debt
and I
is
told him. I
past the
said,
legal
y'all,
statute
you
of
need to
limitations in my
validate. You need to
state to
call
collect.
Joe
If
Master
you lived in
and
another
see
state
could
when
he
you
give you
accumulate
profit.
that debt
How
and
you
that
gonna
state
support what he doing?
benefits you more with the statute of limitations, let them know that according to the state laws for where that debt was originated, it is past the legal statute of limitations for them to be able to collect. They may or may not go with that, but at least it's worth trying to do that. And then if if it's not past legal statute of limitations to collect, then you need to send a cease and desist collection
Yeah.
activities letter, which will include point by point information that they must have gotten from the original creditor to even approach you about collecting on that debt. And if they, and this will make a lot of debt collectors stop, especially if they're buying
We
older
call him
debt that's more than a few years old, where they don't have
we
any
call final
relation
symptoms.
with the
I've been
original
calling the
creditor.
other
Or
three that are out of
most
my
debt
state.
collectors, even the big
Chuck,
portfolio companies,
Julie,
once they buy that debt, the original creditor
Cinder,
is like, don't
and
come back to me for nothing other than buying debt. That's it. Don't ask me any questions. They don't want to, what you got is what you got. So you have to challenge on that. And you can, and the next thing is that it might be some back and forth, or they might try some games, and then you do again with that information from that cease and desist, and you also go back and forth with the debt validation. That's when debt validation comes into play. And there's usually going to be a lot of back and forth. Like, people get frustrated because they're like thinking that they're not reacting to them, they're not responding to them. Number one, they buy thousands of millions of dollars worth of debt. I just went over a portfolio earlier this week that was over $40 million, and I've seen some that's been over $200 million, and I saw one this year that was over $1 billion. So you're talking about thousands of people. If a company is calling thousands of people and you send them a letter, you may not get the response as fast as you want. So you have to stay on them, send it certified mail, whatever you do, because they'll try to pretend like they didn't receive it. And that's that back and forth. Now, if you need those three letters that I just talked about, you're in luck. Just go below this video. There's a link. Fill it in. I'll give you those three letters. All three of them. Use the one that applies to your specific situation. If you don't know when the charge off date was, this is a time where you might have something that debt that's a couple of $1,000, and you're like, I'm using one of these free accounts or whatever to check my credit reports. That ain't gonna cut it. You need to get all of the information, because you're gonna need to know the furniture, everything. You're gonna need to know that exact charge off date. Some of the time it varies on different credit reports. You want to get all of the information. Go to the website the number three scores.com. Download those reports. Look at the comment section. Look at the charge off date, the write off date. Also, if you see the word written on, you need to immediately write a letter to the original creditor to ask them if they cancel the debt, if they're going to send you a 1099-C on that debt. We've seen where some debts have been sold to debt collectors on accident from accounts with the original creditor that did a full write-off. Full write-off is where they send a 1099-C to the federal government. 1099-C is a cancellation of debt form. They'll have the total amount of money on there that you didn't pay them back, and they will expect the IRS to add that to your income on your taxes. And you can get that waived, but this is something that happens. And the problem with it is that you usually don't get them for 6 to 8 months or even the next year. So you could be paying on a debt collection that was done, that the original creditor did a 1099-C on you. You get this letter from the government, the IRS, stating that you have additional income that was not that you didn't report on your taxes, and now you have to report it on your taxes because you got the form, and you're like, I'm paying this debt collector on this debt. So what you would do is number one, you would
I
notify the
think
debt
that we
collector
should
so you
change
can
the
get
rules on
all of your money
filibuster
back
more than a
if
decade
that
ago when we
happens to
started down
you.
this slippery slope.
If
So I
something
agree
like that
with you.
happens to you down the
Normally
line, you get
concerned
all your
about
money
rules
back,
changes,
and then
but
you file your
when we
income
talk
taxes
about the
with that
filibuster
additional
protecting the
income,
rights of the
and you
minority in the
look to
Senate,
get a
when we're
waiver.
talking
Talk
about putting
to
at
your
risk
tax
the rights of
preparer
minority
or look
Americans
online,
on the
and you can
basic
get a waiver
tenets of
on
our
that
democracy, and
additional
not just
income.
minority Americans, but
But
young Americans and
if
others.
it's
My son,
not
he's outrageous
a
voting
1099-C, it
restriction
written off,
laws that are
maybe
being
it was
passed
improperly
in Georgia and
uh,
Texas
put on your
and many
credit
other
reports
states
as a written
that
off
clearly
account rather than a
carve out
charged off
exemption
account.
around voting
And
rights.
if it
Because in
doesn't
my
say
mind,
sold,
that is
because if it
less
doesn't
a
say
policy
sold, then
issue
you don't
and
even
more
know,
a
or transferred
fundamental
or
tenet
whatever.
of our
All of that stuff
democracy.
works in your
Now,
favor if
and
you
for
do it
pro
in order.
democracy with a
Don't,
little
because
d,
most people
pro
are
Democrat with
scrambled
a
up
little
like a
d,
puzzle. So
and if
watch
changing the
this
filibuster is the
video
price of that,
again
and
so you
whether
can
it's
see the
stopping
steps. There's
filibuster
a
or
step
elsewhere,
1, 2,
put me
and
down as a
3
yes.
to doing anything when you're
That
dealing
is
with a debt collector that gives you a demand
Senator
letter. Now,
Schumer, who
I
said
don't know if they're
voters
gonna
are going to vote
consider them
that
reaching out
Mark
to
Warner,
you on social
who was
media
one of 13
as
Democrats
them
in an
getting
NAACP
you
scorecard of
somehow
2021
linking in with the
in
demand
reference
letter.
to voting rights
Maybe they're going to send you a
legislation,
whole text
who
or some
initially
type of
got an
image, because you
incomplete.
can also drop an
And
image in
then this
direct
morning,
messages.
we
I don't know. You can also
had
drop an image
Senator
or a link
Schumer
click. It
and
did talk
the
about link
majority
clicks
leader and the
that they can send
minority
you a
leader of
message
the
and say that
House,
we've been trying to get
Senator
in touch with you
McConnell.
about a
They
debt.
are
They
working
identify
at a
themselves and
deal
click this link, and
where
then that page
they're
opens up
going
that with
to
that 30-day letter.
carve out
It's gonna be
exception, which is really what they're
a period
talking
of
about, to
time
the
where this stuff is gonna
filibuster
have to get
rule
worked out.
so
And
that
when I
they can
start getting
get
reports from
a,
people,
a vote
and if you get
on
one, let me know so I can take a look at it and look at
the
how
budget
they
ceiling,
contacted you to see if any rules were
the debt
violated.
ceiling, the debt ceiling.
We can
By
see,
the way,
start getting
now this
information and start
audience
sharing that
knows
with
that
people.
they've
I
done
can
this
tell
over
you
a hundred
that
times.
consumer
You
advocates
also
argue
should
that the
know
rules expose
that
people to
this
increased
year,
harassment
state
from
legislatures
unscrupulous
in
lenders,
49
payday
states
loan type companies and
have
stuff.
introduced at
They
least
believe that it's very
425 bills
invasive
that
because,
would restrict
the
and
platforms are saying that
manipulate voting rights.
you have
And dozens
privacy.
of them have
They talk
become
about all this
laws
privacy,
to
but
suppress the vote
people can
and
easily send
discourage
you a
voting, because
message
that's really
without
what these
even
laws
knowing you.
do.
A company can,
And
in
so
a
we
way,
need to come
unsolicitedly
together
get
and
an
take
information
action
to
now
you
to
without you
convince
even knowing
the
it. And
United
this is
States Senate
something that
to
Facebook
pass
and all,
the
especially
voting
Facebook,
right
they try to
bill
play
that
around
the
that they're,
John Lewis,
all about
the John
uh,
R.
the
Lewis
user experience, and
Voting
they
Rights
allow
Advancement Act
companies to just, jump all over
and
people.
the For the
At least
People's
some
Act
companies, I know some that,
before the
they
end of the year,
treat
as
certain,
you heard Derek Johnson
I don't even want to
say,
get into it.
so that
But okay, so if you need your
it
credit
can
repaired,
take effect
please visit us at
effect
thecreditrepairshop.com. Watch the video,
before
What
the
Makes Us Different.
2022
Because that's how we're going to
midterm
do it.
elections.
If you're not able to follow with that, I made that video a long time ago. The only thing that changed on there is the pricing.
Now,
But we do it that same
today,
way. Yes, we've enhanced, but this is the process, because this
December
is really the
8th,
true A to Z process to credit
marks
repair. We don't do anything that's going to be illegal,
my
no sweeps or
marks
no fake
31 days
ID theft stuff, none of that. We just
of
don't. We just don't get into that
my
stuff.
fast.
So go to thecreditrepairshop.com, watch the video,
And
What Makes Us Different.
I
You'll
have
look at my
pledged
8-point
to
validation process, my two-phase
continue.
settlement
So
process,
people have asked, do you plan
which
to
really does
continue? In
work.
fact,
Gotten some
yes.
excellent
I now,
settlements
and
for
it is
people,
because it is now
really good.
time for the
Uh,
Senate to act.
and then if you need your credit reports and scores, go to the
And our
website, your
democracy,
number
this
three
is small d. You
scores.com.
heard what
Go there,
Senator
get the
Mark Warner
reports.
said.
If you
This isn't
become a
about
customer,
the
that's the
Democratic or the
bureau.
Republican
That's the
Party.
monitoring service
This
that we
is
like
not
to use.
about
Link straight
policy.
in our software. If you
This
need
is
the
about
3 pack of letters, the link is below this video,
small d. It's about
and you can get all
our
three.
democracy, and it
It could
can't wait.
save you
It's
literally,
also about
literally thousands of
national
dollars.
security.
Yes, I do
Our
ask for a
adversaries,
donation, but
not
you
just
will get the
China and
letters
Russia,
regardless.
but
But
other
I do ask for a
adversaries around the
donation
globe,
because
they wish that they hope that
it's worth it.
they can
I put a lot of time into making those.
that these bills
They've
don't
been
pass,
tried and true.
because it
They
would
work for
undercut
people.
democracy.
And if it saves you thousands of dollars, saves you headache, frustration, stress on your job because debt collector might be trying to, send something to your boss and is trying to get in touch with you. This is it's well worth it. If you have debt collectors coming after you in court, we have a court summons response service working really good on a good winning streak. If you need any other types of services or you have any questions or comments, post them here. Please subscribe to the channel. And thank you for your time. This is Stephen A. Williams, President and founder of the CreditRepairShop.com. Thank you.